And we are live and ready here once again. Let's hand it on over to wolfbloxer06 for his run of Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. Wolfbloxer, the floor is yours. Let's see it.
All right. Hello. Welcome to VCS. This will be a run. So I am wolfbloxer06. I've ran this game for a while now. I am joined by Scalar today.
Hi, friends.
We've got a pretty lengthy estimate here, but that's for a reason that we will get to. For now, I actually have to restart the game before we go ahead and start. I am playing on an emulator. That's why you can see the green text on the top right. That's required for the emulator runs. It's like an FPS counter or something. But without further ado, I think we're ready to go. This isn't the Japanese version. We'll explain that in a moment. Are you ready, Scalar?
I am.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
And good luck, Wolfbloxer.
All right. So, welcome to 1984. Welcome to Victor Vance, who is the brother of Lance Vance from Vice City, and who we will actually see later. Scalar, I'm going to let you continue with the lore because I do not have time to remember all of that.
Awesome. Well, a lot of you may not have heard of Vice City Stories before, but you may have heard of the other game, Vice City. So Vice City Stories is a prequel to the Vice City game, which takes place in 1984, 2 years before Vice City takes place. And it tries to provide some backstory, answer some questions that are lingering left over from Vice City. So, as Wolf mentioned, we are playing as Victor Vance, Lance Vance's brother, and we have joined the army to pay for our brother Pete's medical bills. So this is the very first mission, which is called Soldier, and they've added a new feature, as you could see, which is the ability to swim. Whoa, yeah. So, if you remember in Vice City, you can't swim. If you just jump in the water, you instantly drown. But there's not really much to this mission. This is going to be one of the... this first mission that we're going to do is pretty much normal, but we're going to break the game pretty heavily pretty soon, in the very next mission, actually. So we just walk in here, and we pass the mission.
Yep, and now I was trying to kill a soldier at the beginning of the mission, but now I'm just going to go up to one. That's not what I wanted to do. I want... Sir... What I'm trying to do is the quickest way to kill someone is with melee, snap their neck like that, but you can only do it from behind. So, that's what I was trying to do.
So
now we're going to blow ourselves up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Blow ourselves up, get some hospital cutscenes. You're going to see this hospital a lot. Now, it's time to explain on Mission 0. Scalar, take it away.
Awesome. So, we death warped to go to the hospital because there's a game-breaking glitch you can do with this really fancy vehicle, the police bike. So, what we're going to do is we're going to drive on over to a fence nearby, and it contains a rampage on the other side, and we're going to pick up the rampage because it allows us to duplicate missions. So if you're not already familiar with duping, it's basically abusing the game's mission mechanics to do at least 2 copies of a mission at the same time, and when you do that, you can skip it and another mission. So most of the time, we try duping one mission for one character to skip the next one in their sequence, and the advantage of that is we can skip long and boring missions.
I don't know why Vic didn't pick up the rampage either while trying to get on Mission 0 or afterwards, but I'm not going to complain.
So, if you take a look at the radar, we have mission markers on the map, but we have a rampage running. That's not supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is that you're not supposed to be able to start a mission while you're currently on a mission. What happened is that the game set a variable on mission to 0 as part of that fade out that you saw whenever Wolf picked up the rampage with the vigilante cancel. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get over this wall by jumping on this hut, and we're going to try and complete the rampage almost, walk into the mission marker. We're going to finish the rampage, which will put us on mission 0 again, which will allow us to start another mission. And we're going to start this mission a second time.
Emulator aiming memes happening. It's a pistol rampage, so you know it's very fast. In reality, we only do this rampage because it's the closest to a lot of the missions we do, or most convenient. They're really wrecking me right now.
So one thing that we want to try and answer is that we are playing on the Japanese version. Usually what you see in speedrunning is that the Japanese version came out first and it has more glitches. The interesting thing is that the Japanese version came out second and it has a couple of bugs fixed that allow us to break the game even more. As you might notice, there is no blood and there's no... every time that one of the pedestrians falls over, Wolf can't aim at them anymore. That's one of the changes that were made in the Japanese version compared to the international releases. But as you can see, Wolf just completed the rampage and he started this mission a second time. So now we have 2 copies of this mission running.
So there's 3 ways to do this mission involving each a different weapon. There's the world record method, there's the one pretty much everyone does, and then there's the really cool method. The really cool method's the slowest, but I'm going to show it off because it's a lot of fun. It is the safest, however, because it is the strongest method. So the world record method, which I normally do, is not picking up any extra weapons, just using the pistol you're given. It's very scary though, you have very limited ammo. The second method is by killing another one of those soldiers and picking up their M16, which is the best assault rifle in the game, out of the 2. The third method is only possible when you dupe this mission, because once we hit this pink marker here, if you see it on the map, that will trigger a cutscene. This cutscene, it's what would you call it? It's not the cinematic cutscene. What's the other type called?
I don't know the actual proper term of that.
There's no motion cap, basically. So you're gonna see some dudes shooting, and there's 2 of each of them because of the dupe. They actually don't get properly unloaded. See, look, 2 trucks and all that. If we look up in the sky, we can see a bunch of people. We're gonna kill that one. That's specifically a Phil clone. Pick up his weapon. This is the M249. This is a very heavy machine gun. It's very good. It can kill any normal enemy in 1 shot. We'll see this briefly later on in the run, way later on, because again, we're going to death warp after this mission, so we'll lose it because we don't have money to buy back our weapons yet. We'll get to that later. But this is what happens when you do missions that you aren't supposed to. Can you? Thank you. Run. Okay. And then we only have to kill 2 dudes in here. Then snap this dude's neck for fun. Okay, so now we need to find a good car. I don't want a BF injection. We're gonna take this cop car. BF injections are pretty rare. I'm surprised one spawned this early into the game.
You didn't want to take the fancy Cholo car?
You can't. In emulator, they pretty much always get stuck inside of each other and blow up.
Oh, that's no fun.
You have to be very... Yeah, you have to be very quick with that shooting, otherwise you're gonna get blown up by the cars when you're running to the entrance. So... Flamingo, yep, there is a flamingo in front of there. I think they just put that there because that whole line of little apartment things all look identical, and you need to figure out, because that becomes our safe house in the next mission, which we're not going to do. Hello, officers. I think that just allows us to know which one is ours, instead of, finding which one has the blue arrow. Are we going to make the jump this time? We are not.
Oh,
we made
no.
neither of the jumps. That is
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Not the worst thing in the world, though. Oh, it is if you jump off and don't get into the base. It's a 2006 game, where you steely wheelie automobiles. It's not a parkour game. We're gonna run to this marker. You're gonna see the mission pass, fade, and then pass again. And you're gonna see Vic's clothes change. Fade, fade. Another benefit is with this powerful weapon, we can just shoot this bike. If you were to use either the other strats, it would be best just to get killed by the soldiers, because they are mad at you now at this point. On to Couple normal missions. You want to
So we'll
explain
explain
what's
what
happening
happens.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we saw those two fade outs, we actually passed two missions in the army mission line. So what happened is we passed the cleaning house mission as well as the next mission, which is conduct unbecoming. So we didn't have to do that mission. And in that mission, you actually become a civilian. You get kicked out of the army and you get put back into your street clothes. So now we have advanced the game in a way that's not expected, and we're now just going to do some normal missions as Wolf had mentioned. So this next one is Cholo Victory.
Yep. This mission's meant to be an introduction to the police station and hospital locations in this area of the map. Funny thing is we've been to both so far. You know, it obviously when you first play this you'll have no idea where they are. So it's meant to be an introduction because new players are probably going to end up at those locations a little more than someone who's played the game 8 bajillion
I'm
times.
just trying to make an honest living, man. But they're organized. I
There's
can't
the police
defeat them.
station. We'll see this
Well, this
place
used
a
to be a
lot,
fine country.
almost as much as the hospital. A lot of traffic. Can you guys just not use the roads? That would be very beneficial.
If you're feeling brave, you can look backwards.
True, but I use control setup 1, so it'd be really annoying.
Eh.
I only switch to control setup 2 on truck stop and purple haze, where it's pretty much, you know, actually saves you a lot of time and agony if you do that. But we'll get to that later. Friend? Ooh, jeez. Okay. Does this truck have any special properties, do you know? I feel like it never gets blown up even when you're next to it.
It has more health than usual, so if you're right next to that Cholo car when it blows up, it's not going to blow you up unless you're like really, really low health. But as we mentioned earlier, we have an introduction to the hospital and the police station in this mission, and we also get a tutorial on how to use pay and spray. So the premise of what's going on right now is that Phil says his truck is beaten up, so now we need to go to pay and spray and get it repaired. So it's just a really easy, simple tutorial mission that teaches you how to navigate around the island, some of the important places that you will be going pretty often.
You can actually, this is a stunt jump right here. You can do that in this car. I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're not doing 100%, but it's one of the few stunt jumps you can do in a pretty terrible car. Hello.
It doesn't matter in this mission, but if you mess up just a teeny bit, the run is basically dead. There's a lot of very, very finicky dupes and tricks that we do that could crash the game. And if you mess it up, then yeah, run over pretty much. But I think we have backup save, so that hopefully will not happen.
Yeah. Prime example, if you look at my most recent marathon run at Pixel Perfect, you know, you'll see prime examples of that. Snitch Hitch, for one.
All right.
All right,
So at this
we're
point, we're gonna go over to the trailer park, and we're going to talk to one of Marty's friends, or sorry, Phil's friends named Marty, and we're gonna start doing some missions for him.
One of Marty's friends named Marty. Wouldn't be surprised, it's a trailer park. Anyway, welcome to the Bobcat. Hope we never have to drive this thing again.
Spoilers, you will.
This car has severe oversteer.
I look after people and they look after me. Sometimes I have to remind them of their
If you saw, I picked up a
obligations, they
stubby
don't. But mostly I
shotgun.
just
We'll
mind
be
my own
using
business.
that gun
You mind
for
yours,
next few
pal.
missions. It's very powerful for the artillery we have access to right now.
Okay, we're here.
So,
Despite how this looks, I'm trying to help people.
okay.
Please, I can't. Ve a chuparle el pezón a un chango.
Alright.
You done real?
Do we have donations and things like that to do?
I absolutely have a few things that we can read and take a look at here while we're getting some of these tech issues resolved. So I do want to remind you all that we are watching Midwest Speed Fest Fall Frenzy, a 4-day charity speedrun marathon supporting One Iowa. To donate, go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type in !donate in the chat and follow the link. Don't forget to put your donation towards one of our incentives. And right now we do have the bonus game incentive available. That is for a Splatoon any percent run for later on today at the end of day number 3. If we are able to hit that $500 goal, King J0444 will do that any percent run of Splatoon. We are currently at $281 out of that $500 goal. And that is an overall goal, so you don't need to put your donations specifically towards that bonus game goal. We can absolutely just donate to One Iowa, and we'll make sure that it goes straight towards that. You're gonna want to see that Splatoon run. Splatoon is a blast. And it is a lot of fun. That would be happening before our final run of the night, which is a Metroid Dread run. So you do still have a little bit of time here. You have the end till the end of Vice City Stories, as well as Final Fantasy 15 and Pit People before we would need to close that incentive. So again, your donations will go towards bonus game number 2.
I do have to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
But
Go for it.
welcome to Fear the Repo. This is the second Marty mission. We finished Shakedown, a very quick and easy mission. I started another on Mission 0 Rampage. We're not actually going to use this to set up a dupe. We're going to, or right now at least, we're just going to do this mission normally. And we're going to do something called Chaining the Rampage. At this point in the game, we can do that. So we have the Rampage counting down. That's going to run out during the mission. And then we're going to pick up the same Rampage again towards the end of the mission and use that to do something with the next mission. Scalar, if you want to explain why we're going to chain this Rampage.
So as Wolf had mentioned, the Rampage timer will run out in the middle of the mission, meaning that we're going to go on Mission 0. Since Marty is the most recently unlocked chain on the map, the game will use that mission value, or like the mission strain value, in order to increase, right? So since Marty is the most recently unlocked mission chain on the map, it's going to pass that mission whenever we complete this mission. So we're going to abuse that fact in order to try and sequence break, but also we want to be able to carry the on Mission 0 throughout a couple of missions so that we can do a dupe later. More specifically, a triple.
The only one in the run.
I paid Marty off weeks ago.
Anyway, as you can see, the Rampage is about to run out. At this point, this early in the game, going on Mission 0 during a mission doesn't do anything, really. That changes, actually, after this mission. So, we'll actually be abusing some of the differences that it has throughout the run. But for now, just think that we're just going to pick up the Rampage again. Nothing's going to happen to this mission. So, don't let me forget to pick up the Rampage. I'm doing it now. So, basically, the premise of this mission is you have to repossess 3 vehicles. 1 stationary vehicle nearby, 1 that takes a random route and can be really annoying, and then 1 stationary van that gives you the police. So we picked up again. We have to start the next mission before this Rampage runs out, and that's really tight. And is luck-based. I don't have a save for it, because there's really no point to save in this kind of chain. So hopefully it goes all fine. The goal is to try and hit both of those guys. It's not a big deal if you don't, because you just have to go around to the other side of the door. If you try and enter the driver's side door while one of them is standing up, he'll just pull you out. So now we try and do no TVs lost percent. Already lost it because traffic. Once we finish this mission, we need a car. Any car will work. It is faster than running. Technically, you can play it safe and pick up the Rampage now, that's really slow, and this is a speed fest, and so we don't want to do that. Now,
No
ooh,
TVs.
don't flip. All right, now please give me a car. Okay, this works. Got in. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Let's go, big dog. Let's go.
Oh jeez.
You fit to die, boy.
It's a bit spooky.
Should be okay. We should be fine. Yeah, we'll be fine. That's unfortunate. That happens sometimes when... I guess though that's Marty's gang that does that. So, we're fine. We're starting the mission before the rampage runs out. Really, you need like 5 seconds left. Because you just need enough time to get away from the marker. If you're fast enough, you can get... Because we're going to pick up the rampage again. If you're fast enough, you could be there before the rampage runs out. Obviously, we had that little mishap with the driver. But we're fine. We are fine. So welcome to Waking Up the Neighbors, one of the fastest missions in the game. You want to talk about what we're about to do?
Awesome. So the mission that we're doing is called Waking Up the Neighbors, and in every 3D era GTA game, we have the 3 vans mission. There has to be some kind of 3 vehicles mission in those kinds of games, so this happens to be it. What we're going to do is we're going to do this mission twice, but we're going to use that on mission 0 chaining that we had earlier, which is why we picked up the rampage once more. But we're doing a fancy trick where we go out of bounds, and when you go out of bounds, it will actually flip all of the vehicles, as you just saw with that bike. And when you flip all the vehicles, all the vans that are in this mission will blow up, and that allows you to pass the mission really quickly.
Yep. So now, that did not pass Waking Up the Neighbors because we went on mission 0. Want to explain why?
So as I mentioned, when you go on mission 0 and you pass the mission, it will pass the most recently unlocked mission chain on the map, and the most recently unlocked mission chain on the map was Louise. So when we passed Waking Up the Neighbors there, it passed a Louise mission. Now that we're on mission 1 again, and we have the rampage time running, we never went on mission 0 here. We're actually going to pass this mission in particular, Waking Up the Neighbors.
Oh, jeez. Bike launch. Okay. Ooh. Now for vigilante duping. Yay. This is the triple we were talking about, which will skip taking out, what is it? Taking out the white trash and divorce.
Yeah.
Which divorce has some pretty crazy prerequisites to unlock it. So it's very nice that we can skip it and do the mission after that now.
So the way that this works is, since we have that rampage timer running, we started Vigilante to go on mission 1. The rampage timer running out is going to put us back on mission 0. Then we're going to start Vigilante again, which will put us back on mission 1. Then we're going to cancel Vigilante on top of the rampage, and then we're going to get put on mission 0, and then we're going to have 2 timers running. There's a lot to talk about.
Yep. We're going to pick up armor for safety. I don't know how necessary. Oh, I forgot to mention to you, Scalers. You see that it was discovered that it's not 4 times the amount of health. It's actually you take a third less damage.
I knew it was something like anywhere between 2 and 4, but I didn't know the exact number.
Yeah, it's 0.33 damage instead of your health being different. We're going to enter this at 1 second because this is called an entry dupe. It's the only one in the run. Not a lot of missions can do this. You can see that we successfully did it because there's 2 Martys. Now, we've got a lot of time left over, so what we're going to do is, instead of just standing around for no reason, we're going to do something first, then stand around for no reason. By that, I mean we're going to...
I was going to explain. The reason why we can do a triple with this mission is because it starts with a non-cinematic cutscene. If it starts with a cinematic cutscene, then the game is very likely to crash. So that's the reason why we do it here.
Yeah. that Sanchez that we parked, that's called the Sanchez, by the way. It's the dirt bike. We use it a lot. The reason we park it there is hopefully it won't despawn. We're going to use it for the next mission, because the next mission takes place over there again. But now we've got like 20 seconds left. We're going to keep the storyline correct. Unfortunately, I could not do that last time, but now the storyline is correct again.
What Wolf means by that is we're going to break the sequence so severely that we're going to be doing missions for Marty while he's dead. Or, like, we're going to be doing missions after Marty's death apparently happens.
Yeah. And then do another Marty mission.
It's time to die versus...
It's literally, we do the mission that's like celebrating his death, taking over his assets and all that. And then we do another mission for Marty. This isn't God protection. Speaking of God protection. I don't want to go that way. I want to go over here. This is the, what is this place called?
Stonewall J.
That's what it's called. And because we already have the ammo we picked up from, what mission? Shakedown. Right before Shakedown. So, this is 39 bullets, I believe. More than enough. Alright. So now we're gonna do the actual mission. The actual mission itself is very short. The setup to do triple this mission is longer than the mission itself. So, it's basically the tutorial of taking over an empire, I guess.
Similar to gang
except we
territories
do
in
it.
San Andreas.
Yeah, except we do it 3 times. It's a better system than gang territory. Sorry, I'm struggling to speak today. This is what happens when you have a big schedule.
I'm a trained killer.
Alright. I'm gonna... hello, can you...
Come on now, asshole.
So we just took over the Empire, and we passed Obwa, O brother, where art thou? Hey, guess what? We still have 2 instances of this mission running. So we're gonna do that. Mission's gonna pass. This is passing, taking out the white trash, which is the second Louise mission. Then we're gonna do it another time. I think the gang changed there. You see that?
Yeah, it's actually I don't remember. I think it's a Marty mission.
Marty's.
Or like, yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a Marty. Yeah.
henchman.
It's I think the. I think they're called, like... I know the wiki calls them the Trailer Park Mafia. I don't know if there's any reason to that, or what it's called in the code. I don't know. It's Marty's gang, basically. Welcome to Victor the Spoils. Little pun on a common phrase. Because, you know, our character's name is Victor. If you didn't get that after we've said it like 20 times. This is the next normal mission we're going to do for a little bit. This is meant to be the last mission in the act. The game is split up into 3 acts. We'll get to that in a few minutes, because that'll become more relevant in a few minutes. But for now, just think of the acts as like major parts of the story. The first act is, you know, killing Marty, taking over... Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, that was, very unfortunate. And really funny.
At least Louise didn't drive away on that car.
No. Need to, like, call these guys over and, like, say, hey, come join us, but we don't actually need them for the mission. You can kind of just leave them. Especially since they're, you know, not helpful in the slightest. So now we're going to hit this marker. This is where the Sanchez actually comes in use. We're going to take over. You can see it there behind the tree. And we're just going to shotgun everyone. Guy's stuck for some reason. And now we're actually going to get the Sanchez again. And now we're gonna, so that's one of his businesses taken over. Now we're gonna go take over the other. I don't know why we don't take over the brothel that we took over previously for Marty. I don't know why we don't take that over, but so this is like one instance of why the Japanese version's so useful. You can see if this was like the international version or whatever, we would be dead. So that's the mission. There's a bunch of cutscenes we have to skip. And then more duping fun.
Aside from the car crashes, that was pretty good.
I did manage to do the fancy jump into here. Now we're gonna do got protection dupe. This is a very big coin flip. It if it goes wrong, it will go wrong very badly. If it goes right, hooray. We get to do another coin flip right after it. So I'm gonna start Vigilante, get the rampage as normal. I'm gonna let you explain what we're doing, Scalar, because my voice is getting tired.
Awesome. So, in the previous mission, that was celebrating Marty's. So we're gonna dupe this mission using the same pistol rampage that we've been using. So as you just saw, we went and picked it up. It's gonna be faster to complete this rampage. So we're gonna start the mission and we're gonna run over to the road and we're gonna try to complete it as quickly as we possibly can. So you can get very unlucky as Wolf gets over to the road. Since it is on the road, police can be passing by and you can get wanted stars very quickly and easily. You saw a police car in the distance right there. And as soon as you started the rampage, I think you also noticed you got a wanted star. So this is where things can go horribly wrong on international if you have less health. You can easily wind up with 3 stars and you get nothing but police rather than gang members to complete the rampage. This is very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, this is not a very nice place to do this rampage. Unfortunately, it's just the closest. So
You got lots of police showing up now.
Yep. That's another nature of the Japanese version. One of the cons of using it is that you get police attention much more easily, which will... Actually, we're going to have to do a strat later to prevent having too high of police. Otherwise, it'll make the mission very difficult. So that's the rampage done. Now we're going to go back, start the mission again, and we'll see how it goes.
Alright, so... Now that we've started the second copy of the mission, I'll explain what this mission is about. So Marty has a couple of very, very nice employees that we have to go rescue. Casually, this mission is not very hard. What's going to end up happening is that when we get over to Marty's business, you'll have the gang members trying to attack some of the girls that you need to rescue. And you have enough time to go pick all of them up. It's very hard to fail a mission normally, but since we duped it, you pretty much have twice as many guys, and the mission goes twice as fast, meaning that the girl's health bar is going to run out twice as fast. So even though it's not hard casually, if you dupe it, it becomes very hard.
Fun thing is, on emulator, it goes down even faster.
I actually didn't know that.
Oh, now you do. This mission, this is one of the few instances where emulator is harder or more low or whatever than real hardware. So we're actually, this isn't, I don't know if this is necessarily the fastest way, but this is the safest way to do this mission. Because if you were to pick up, what I used to do is pick up that girl last, and if you do that, I got all my tires popped very early on.
I'm gonna say, we might suggest changing over to Glendale, but that might be too risky.
You don't have enough time to do it on emulator.
Oh.
Yeah. Once you get the third girl, they don't spawn as much, so... Alright, we hope that she does not get shot to oblivion here. You can see, like, even the Cholo cars are having issues driving. And you can see my car is very smoky. Probably cooking a brisket in there or something. But luckily we got through the mission. That went pretty well, other than getting all my tires popped immediately at the beginning. Actually, looking at my splits, that was a gold. It was a very good rampage too. But obviously, we don't want to drive this thing any more than we have to. So we're going to go ahead pick up the Sanchez.
So
Now we can do another coin flip.
Yeah, I would point out that we duped Got Protection, but that's actually a special type of dupe, in the sense that when you pass Got Protection duped, the dupes don't pass on exactly the same frame, and when that happens, you pass the most recently unlocked mission chain on the map. Since Marty was gone at that point, like there were no more Marty missions left to do, it passed the most recently unlocked mission chain, which was Phil, and that passed Boom Shine Blow, which is a very, very annoying mission to do, and it's the reason why I quit playing the game casually when I first got it.
Yeah, it's the reason a lot of people quit this game, because the way we do the speedrun, the missions order is not how casually would most likely do it. We did the first Phil mission, they would usually just start the second Phil mission right away, which is Boom Shine Blowout. Wow. And that didn't give me the police. Wow. Oof. Alright. So we gotta be very quick here, because actually finishing this rampage can be a little tight if you screw up this drive. This is also a very hard dupe in of itself. Talking about everyone's favorite strat.
Awesome. So I'll just go through the very basic introduction about what this is. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip the next Phil mission, which is Marked Men, and we're also going to perform a skip called PACBA, or the Partial Exchange Bypass Glitch. So I'll just give you a basic introduction as to this mission itself. So this dupe is an easy run killer. If you skip the cutscene incorrectly at the wrong time, it will soft lock the game. Sometimes the car that you need is going to flip, and then it'll also cause you to fail the dupe. The truck that you need to drive can also flip, or the truck that Phil needs to drive can also blow up because it flips, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong here. And as I mentioned, if something goes wrong, the run's pretty much dead. But since we probably have safety saves, we're going to try and avoid having to restart.
Yep. Alright, so I'm finishing this rampage. I need you to shush for a second. Because duping this mission is very weird. We'll explain it after. I don't like that. I can't get in this car for some reason. Okay, so I don't think it's gonna catch on fire. Yeah. But for some reason, I cannot get into this car. Might be able to get in it from the other side.
You might just try jumping on top of the perennial, like the one that's upright, and then jump onto the car, and then get in, like, on the side.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or you can just get in the perennial and bang it.
That's what my plan was. Oh, okay, perfect. It worked. I've tried that before, and it didn't work, so very happy that worked. Alright, so that's one of the coin flips. Good. I'm gonna switch our... What I did there is just some real quick menuing. That's switching my control setup. That's actually something most people don't do. It's because I'm so used to playing with control setup 1, which is technically slower for this mission, for reasons that we'll get to in a second. I'm so used to playing on it that when I have to use control setup 2, for example, this mission, I have to actually switch to it. Now, that doesn't lose me more than a second if I do it correctly, really, but... Anyway, so you can see there's a bunch of taxis there at the hotel. Now, we need to hope that the trucks are in a good way. Now, the mission hasn't failed, which is a good sign that it's not one of the insta-fail things. Let's see. So, it's probably on its side, but because it's a marathon, I'm going to check, because if it's fully upside down, we don't want to trigger it yet. Yeah, it's on its side. Wait, is it? I just wanna... Nope, it's fully
It's
upside down. Okay,
Yeah.
yep. So that means we get to go out of bounds again. And that's actually kind of risky, because I'll flip our car. Which, while it has a lot of health, it doesn't have infinite health. So we need to actually run back over here, flip it back over before it catches on fire. Which is pretty easy to do, unless the car's already very damaged from having flipped it previously. So luckily, this is a case, since the other truck seems to have driven away, it cannot get stuck, which is very nice. So now, this part of the mission is just pretty much normal.
Awesome. Do you
So,
want me to take
that's-
over the rest of the explanation for what we're about to do?
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, that'd be great.
So there's a script that runs between chapters to reset who you've completed missions for and how many missions that you've done for them. So we studied the code, or I shouldn't say we, but some very clever people who know this game in and out studied it, and they found out that there is a way that you can interrupt the script that runs between chapters by getting into a save marker within about 500 milliseconds after you go on mission 0 from finishing the last mission in the chapter. So if we save and reload the game, we can avoid the game completely resetting all the mission chains for chapter 2, which allows us to choose which characters we want to do missions for in any order that we please. And so that's hence the name partial in the partial act change bypass glitch.
So I picked up some SMG ammo just in case this were to happen, where the dude spawns. Because looking behind with the control setup, like I had talked about, usually prevents them from spawning, but I thought, okay, that was a little weird. But now we should be fine. They can't spawn past a certain point. Cars can, though. Angry cars can. Oof. I'm gonna switch my control setup back. Hello, can I switch back? There we go. The menuing doesn't always respond to your inputs, but
So
I'm gonna use the rest of my SMG ammo.
I'm gonna give Wolf some quiet time because things can go horrifically wrong here.
Usually. So we're gonna pass this mission on different frames by skipping the cutscene in a very weird way. You saw we fell out of bounds. That's a good indicator we did that properly. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this turn very carefully. We need to save the game about 400 milliseconds after this pager goes away. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to restart the game, which I just have, it's a hotkey on your keyboard to restart the game quickly, instead of quitting out of the emulator and going back in. And if we did it, we should see, yep, plane icon, a U and a F. We did it
Nice.
successfully. Now I'm just gonna take this truck, I guess.
You little bitch, move.
Not the best vehicle, but it's a short drive. We're gonna go do the plane mission first. Finally gonna be introduced to Lance. It's just a plane icon just to kind of hide that you're meeting Lance, because you don't know that you're meeting him at this point. You can see we're getting spammed with a lot of pagers because it's unlocked so many pagers in this act. It's given it to all of them. So normally at this point you'd only have the plane mission. Instead we have F for Forbes and U for Umberto, who we will have to do their missions, even though we're not really going to do them. But we'll get there. First, this mission we do fully normally.
Get us out of here, Lance.
If you want to talk about the shooting in this mission, you can see it's a very weird.
So this is an introduction to the free aim in a vehicle mechanic. This mission's technically a pseudo auto scroller, so what's going to happen is that we're going to drive around town trying to shoot a couple of the gang cholo cars that are coming after us. They're angry at Vic for taking over businesses and a whole bunch of other stuff, so we're going to try and defend our car from getting blown up. As you can see on the right hand side of the screen, we have a damage meter, so if that fills up, then the car is going to explode, which we don't want to do that since this mission is very long and very annoying to do. I say that it's a pseudo auto scroller because if Lance crashes into something, which is rare, if Lance crashes into something, the car can get derailed, and that can cause your car to get really, really damaged. And at the very end of this mission is a shootout that can easily end the run if you're not careful, because particularly on the international release of this game, you don't have as much health, whereas on the Japanese version, you have more health. And also at the end of this mission, you do end up with a lot of wanted stars. So we'll just continue going through the car sequence until we get to the end ramp. Nothing
Well,
too fancy.
I was going to ask, while we're on this auto scroller here for a little bit, do we have some time for some donations and plugs?
We do.
Absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. First, I do want to mention again that your donations are going to go towards One Iowa, one of our partner here for Midwest Speedfest Fall Frenzy, a charity organization that advances, empowers, and improves the lives of LGBTQ Iowans statewide. It's extremely important now and always to support LGBTQ individuals, especially in underrepresented and overlooked areas such as Iowa. You can donate directly to One Iowa by typing !donate in chat or by going to donate.midwestspeedfest.com. Additionally, One Iowa is a 501c3 organization, meaning your donation is tax deductible if you live in the United States, and furthermore means your employer may match your donation. And donations like one that we've received here from our good friend Helix, who donated $1, and they say, "Oops, I ruined the nice round number we were at. I guess y'all will have to donate towards our upcoming bonus game to help fix it." And as they said, we do have that upcoming bonus game of Splatoon, and any percent run of it. It is a $500 overall goal, and right now we are at $282 towards that goal. We do have just a few more runs here before we would get to that. We have the rest of GTA Vice City Stories, then Final Fantasy 15 and Pit People, so you're looking at maybe 2.5 to 3 hours before we would need to get those donations in for Splatoon. So please make sure you do donate. Use that !donate in the chat. We want to see more Midwest Speedfest. We want to help out One Iowa. So let's get those donations in and let's see that bonus game.
Good. All right. Yes, please put in your donations for that. That'll be a great run to see. So I'm playing a little bit safe here. I pay and spray to get rid of the police and repair my car because we had 3 stars. If my tires weren't popped and my cars weren't as damaged, I think it was rammed by a police car before I got in it. If it wasn't as damaged, I probably would have just gone to the marker. But since it got so damaged before I was even in it, really, I went to pay and spray it. That also, loses the cops. Now we're finishing up the mission here. And now we're going to do another normal mission. The audition. If you want to mention Louis' missions.
Excellent. So to give some additional context about the effects of the partial act change bypass glitch. So I kind of alluded to this. Any character that's going to be shared between chapters, such as Louise, due to the glitch, are going to have their missions automatically completed upon loading the save, as we did earlier. So Louise is both in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, and the 2 missions, Hose the Hose and Robbing the Cradle, are completed upon doing the partial act change bypass glitch, so we can skip doing those missions.
Hear that? Did you hear that really high-pitched siren noise?
Unfortunately, I can't because I'm watching on a delayed stream.
That was really weird. Sometimes you get random noises that get kind of stuck and won't get unstuck until you pause and unpause. Usually it'll be just things like a car's engine or something that'll get stuck. They're kind of loud. I've never heard an extremely high-pitched siren before. I've never heard that. Pretty interesting. No, that's an emulator bug, by the way. That won't happen on real hardware, as far as we know. But now you can pay and spray because it's safe. Except we're not. Yes, I just paid and sprayed in the previous mission, but we only have 2 stars here. So Lance is absolutely destroying everyone with his Uzi that shoots 1 bullet per frame. We're gonna do a cool little hop. This isn't the intentional way to get into the place, but it still counts. Now we're gonna get some Molotovs because those are the most overpowered throwable in the game. That green truck is also the most overpowered indestructible object, apparently.
I'll talk about the premise of this mission, as we have to go pick up a car containing some medicine for a guy named Forbes here in this vehicle lot. And it's not really too difficult to do if you know what you're doing. Luckily, you got the car as the very first one in the line. We're going to just drive out of the lot using this really cool ramp.
Let's get the car out of here.
I'm gonna try and slow down on the ramp to trigger early, which I did. Which thankfully I did because I flipped my car. But now we're gonna death warp a few times. There we go. Had a little bit of extra health, so now we're gonna buy back our weapons before Pager comes in because that would block our weapons. Now it's time for the money for nothing skip. I fear that this isn't going to go well.
Nonsense.
Nonsense, huh?
I'll give
This
some
is
background about what's going to happen.
Yeah,
is
go ahead.
Money for Nothing is a mission. It's a very long mission where you have to drive a decoy van around while Lance and the guy named Forbes drive a real van containing that medicine that we just picked up to some random garage. I don't exactly know where it is, but what we're going to do is that we're going to utilize the Caught as an Act mission to try and skip it. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go and pick up a rampage, and in this case, I think you're going to go pick up the Molotov rampage, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to pick up the Molotov rampage, and we're going to go to the L mission marker on the map, which is going to be Caught as an Act. What we're going to do is we're going to skip the final cutscene of Caught as an Act when the rampage timer has about 0.5 seconds remaining. And like I was talking about in the previous chapter, is when we go on mission 0, we're going to pass the most recently unlocked mission chain. That only applies in mission 1, chapter 1, but in chapters 2 and 3, what happens is that for about half a second after you pass a mission, that will apply, and then after that, it will pass an Umberto mission, which is that U that you see on the map. So, Caught as an Act just happens to be very short, and we're going to be abusing Caught as an Act for something like, 6 instances, right?
Yeah, you'll abuse it for 6 and do it a 7th time normally.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna start this mission at a particular point for timing reasons and hope it doesn't go wrong.
After the very first time, we'll explain what's happening as it goes along. All the other sequential instances that we do this probably can be used for donations, so give us just a moment.
Yeah.
Um,
This one's pretty precise and pretty difficult. The other 5 are very easy.
Get him, Vic.
So
We gotta find out what he knows.
this one we're just gonna go catch Forbes instantly, but we gotta pick him up at a particular time. Gotta pick him up preferably at about no more than 20 while we're getting him out of the car, so I'm just gonna wait a second here
What the hell is
and then pick him up.
doing in there? We can take him. Come on.
Because if that timer runs out during a fade we're about to see, right about now, if the timer run out during that, we wouldn't be able to do the skip, so just give me a second.
I don't know about
2
this
2
place.
1 1 0 0.
What do you think?
Alright, that looked pretty good. We will truly know if it worked in a moment. I would like your vehicle, sir. That's a Sanchez. I don't want that. So instead what we're gonna do... Why is that car there? That's a cop car. Cop bike. What is happening? Why is... What? I've never seen this before. There's no cop either. Where did they go? I don't know what happened there. Never really seen that before. But we're gonna know if we did the skip successfully if we. Oh, okay. My little entrance here. We should see the F move places, and it did. It went right over there. Markers right near us. That means we did the money from money for nothing skip correctly.
Nice.
So now we're gonna do the Umberto skip.
So we just did Caught as an Act to skip Money for Nothing, and now we, of course, as Wolf just mentioned, we need to do missions for Umberto, which is that U on the map. Umberto's missions are very annoying, and they're also pretty difficult in some respects. On Japanese, they aren't exactly the worst, but on international, they're very easy to fail, and sometimes you run out of health really easily because you get shot too much. By doing the on mission 0 chaining, we'll skip Umberto. Go ahead.
What? I mean, I'm guessing Havana Good Time. Yeah, it could be more difficult, but what else? What are the missions that you really get shot at? On foot at least.
Well, I mean the very first mission, you're not gonna like be on foot, right, for nice package, but you still have to contend with like all the guys that are like trying to ram into you if you steal a package, right?
Right, and in VCS you can get shot in your car. So
Yeah. It's just not a fun time.
no, they're all long too. Especially Pappy Don't Screech and Havana Good Time. Pappy Don't Screech is like my least favorite mission in this game because you purposely have to go slow.
In any case,
Right
we're just
now,
going to be doing this mission a couple more times. There's not really too much to it, so if you want to do some more plugging, you're more than welcome to, or donations.
The
yeah.
fuck are you talking about?
Absolutely. I do want to remind everybody here that you are watching Midwest Speed Fest Fall Frenzy, a 4-day charity speedrun marathon supporting One Iowa. To donate, please go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type donate in chat and follow the link. Don't forget to put your donation towards one of our incentives. And our current incentive that is open is bonus game number 2 of Splatoon. We are $282 out of $500 for that bonus run here of Splatoon. So we want to make sure that we are pushing towards it here so that we can see it. You have just about 2.5 hours or so until that would need to be met. So I know we can get it. I know we can get there. We're at $2,001 here for One Iowa. So let's keep that up and keep that going here to get that bonus game. Do also want to mention more about One Iowa here. Midwest Speed Fest Fall Frenzy is supporting again One Iowa. One Iowa seeks to improve the lives of LGBTQ Iowans by protecting and advancing equality and inclusiveness through education, improving workplace culture, and increasing access to quality healthcare across the state of Iowa. $50 donated to One Iowa will help connect an older LGBTQ adults and fight social isolation. $100 could provide a transgender Iowan with one-on-one support, referrals, and follow-up services. And with $250, One Iowa can provide a scholarship to empower a future LGBTQ Leadership Institute participant, which is a program designed to prepare Iowa's next generation of LGBTQ leaders. You can donate directly to One Iowa by typing that !donate in chat, or again by going to donate.midwestspeedfest.com. And if you wish to learn more about One Iowa, please visit oneiowa.org. That's ONEIOWA.org.
No trouble. Of course. Hey, I was just giving you shit.
Awesome.
You know.
So
Whatever.
now we're doing the mission a second time. So this is going to skip, I think, Balls, which is the next Umberto mission. And
That's
I will
usually
point out,
regarded as the worst one.
yeah. You have a preference to not like Poppy Don't Screech, but I think this one is, I don't like this one.
Yeah. I very rarely have had issues with balls, but in my NMG runs, but maybe we'll have NMG next Midwest Speed Fest. That would be a lot easier of an explanation, that's for sure.
I'll talk about what's happening right now is that since we're doing this mission 4 times, and then we're going to do it twice more for different reasons, we're going to chase Forbes around in this convertible car. And once the trunk pops open, that's actually very bad. We need to get him and drag him out of the car before he can drive off. If the trunk opens, there's actually a glitch that happens on the PS2 as well as the Japanese PSP versions, where the game will randomly select a pedestrian in the pedestrian pool and cause them to get out of their car, because in the trunk you have a bunch of money flying around, and so they have the pedestrians just running to grab all the money flying across the street. And it just so happens, for whatever reason, Vic and Lance also happen to be considered pedestrians in the pedestrian pool. So you could technically bail out of your car while you're trying to chase Forbes, so you want to make sure that you stop Forbes before the trunk pops open.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a very annoying glitch. Doesn't happen on international, so I guess that's one pro of going on international. But there's like 20 cons, so you don't really want to touch the international version nowadays. Unless you're Josh the Moose. Yeah, this is a very boring part of the run, and don't worry, we're only going to do something just like this later on, too. So.
It'll pass.
Victor V, what's poppin', partner?
And then the very last one that we're going to do skips Havana Good Time. You'll know that it's complete whenever the U disappears from the map after we do the 4th instance. Really though, if you like what you see in this game, like if you've never played Vice City Stories before and you want to try and play it, the 2 consoles that you can play it on are going to be PS2 and PSP. So if you still own one of those consoles, if you're going to play it casually, the PS2 version is probably better if you have a PS2 to play it on, but PSP is considered the de facto version for speedrunning because it runs much better than the PS2 version. The PS2 version has some graphical enhancements, which is why I say for casual play it's probably better. But if you're looking for like the most immersive experience, PS2 is probably fine.
It does have more content too. One of the few
Yeah.
GTAs where the platform you're on has more content. I guess you could consider like the LCS mobile version has less content because you only have to go to like level 9 on like the submissions. So, but I can't think of really any other GTA other than I guess GTA 5 that, depending on the console you play on, has a different amount of content. Oh, maybe the 2D games. Maybe we don't talk about those.
I've never played the 2D games, at least to completion. I've never played GTA 5, funnily enough.
Don't start now. I've played GTA Advance, and honestly, the story's pretty good. It takes a little bit to get used to the controls, but they're not horrible. Unfortunately, it is just that graphical kind of thing. The graphical limitations are a little difficult to deal with. But it's not the worst story, to be honest. The 2D universe games don't really have a story. So.
What? What's poppin'?
They're more
Someday I'll
arcade
play
style.
those.
What are you talking about?
Isn't that what you guys say? What's poppin'?
Yeah, not a lot of
think
people
that must
enjoy
be
them,
Lance.
unless you kind of like grew up with them.
You got everything sorted? No trouble?
As I mentioned,
course.
the mission that we're supposed to be skipping from Berto right now is Havana Good Time. So the premise of that mission, it's a very long mission where we have to go to a warehouse and we have to steal some weapons, and we have to wait for some guys to load them very, very slowly onto a truck. And then we also have to take that truck when we're being chased by some gang members to take them back to Umberto's house. And it's just a huge mess. It's a very long mission that no one really likes to do, but conveniently, since we have the Call as an Axe skip, that allows us to complete that in the span of 2 minutes versus like 5 to 7 minutes that it normally takes to do that mission.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do Uzi farming though. Not that we need it. Alright. So that's all the Umberto missions done. You can see the U is gone. We're gonna abuse Call as an Act. Nice Oceanic, by the way. We're gonna abuse Call as an Act one more time. Now this can very randomly crash. I've had it happen to me once. I think you said it's happened to you once. Fielhito, the current world record holder, has had it happen to him once, and I don't know if Auntie's ever had it. Those are
I don't know how
these are
he
the
never
only
had it happen
three.
to him, but yeah, it happens to me a lot for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just like saying English Ben never had the Gunrunner 00 bug, which I assume you don't know that much about, but that's just like
No.
saying that. It's like, oh, some more people are more unlucky than others.
So we'll talk about what we're about to do,
Goodness.
is that we're going to use Caught as an Act to do what's called the Leap and Bound skip. So there's another very long Forbes mission called Leap and Bound, which involves watching over Lance during a deal, and then you have to go and rescue Lance from a ship on the other side of the island.
What?
This time we're going to do the Caught as an Act mission. We're going to go on mission 0, but we're not going to pick up the Rampage. I'm going to give Wolf some quiet time as he tries to do this, because it can go wrong, as he talked about.
We just have to pass the mission pass the mission as an Umberto mission again. Actually, no. We don't need to pick up another rampage. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of money for nothing. So, we gotta pull our little friend over here. And I need to do some semi-precise cuts and skips. Oh, man. That's really bad. Hey, guess what? I might be the first person to have it happen to them twice. Of course it would happen now. Man, I was 4 minutes ahead of PB. That's fine. That's very sad.
What's your closest save?
Cause an act on mission 1, so we'd have to skip bum deal, which isn't the
Oh.
biggest problem, but
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
unless I have something closer.
Can
No, just act 3. Okay.
Fun bit here. Just as this has just happened, your game crashed and my Discord crashed. So seems like we might be
Bad
slightly
luck all around.
for the moment. While we're getting this set up, do you mind if I go ahead and continue to read out a little bit as we are waiting to get everything back up and running?
Well, I mean, I think mine's all up and running now, so. Would have passed Leap and Bound. It would have duped the bum deal. Which then we would have death warped to kill the instances, and then we would have done bum deal, which is just like a quick 2.5 long mission where we kill Forbes, we get his MP5. You can see we have that now. I don't know why I'm going this way. But now we're going to set up for Snitch Hitch Dupe, which is another big run killer. Very unfortunate that that's happened.
Sorry. Once we start talking, or like once we actually do the Snitch Hitch Dupe, then we can toss it over back to you guys, and you can do some more talking about the marathon. We'll talk about Snitch Hitch Dupe really quickly. So since we skipped Bum Deal, the mission right after that we're going to do is Snitch Hitch. So we need to take the police bike, and we need to start Caught as an Act one more time, and we need to pass Caught as an Act while that rampage timer is running, so that we pass Caught as an Act on mission 1, but then also use the rampage timer that's counting down to dupe Snitch Hitch before that rampage timer runs out. So a lot of stuff that we have to do in a really short succession amount of time. So as you can see, we're running over here to the mission marker, starting Caught as an Act. And it's just as it was before.
It's very sad that the game crashed. It's extremely rare. I'll have to check who else that's happened to, because again, that's very rare. Lance, why are you okay? Alright. I don't know of anyone that's gotten it more than once.
I've had it happen a lot of times.
How many times? Well, was it fault of your own, or was it a random crash?
I have no idea.
Because it's not that. Oh jeez. It's not that precise of a skip.
What the hell is our mother doing in there?
You never know when you
But
get a few grand. Take him. Come on.
I don't believe that was wrong. So I'm not sure what happened there.
It didn't look like it was wrong. It's just, as I mentioned, it happens randomly. It happens to me more frequently on, I guess, because I run on console versus emulator. I don't know what the difference is,
Yeah.
but maybe somebody who
That's really
has
sad.
scientific knowledge of GTA games could tell us.
Could have
Now
had a
what we need to
marathon
do,
TV. So.
yeah. Now what we need to do is we need to go and start the next Lance mission before the Rampage timer runs out. I'm going to give Wolf some quiet time so that he does not accidentally miss the visual cue to do that, as well as the audio cue. And then once we do that, I think we can toss it over for some donations. So I will.
We don't want to
take a point
soft lock
and
the
turn it
game.
over to
Then.
Wolf.
Yeah, we don't want to soft lock it again. Funny thing is, the run probably would have died at this point because I only get past this mission like 25% of the time. So, what did that cause an act though? So I need to skip the cutscene right when Rampage failed appears. So give me a second.
Hey, I'll call you back. What's your problem, man? Huh? My problem?
Hello, skip.
What friend at the airport?
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is strange.
This dude's
Never
plane
had
could be
this occur.
leaving anytime. So let's
You
pop
are
big
currently
time.
on mission 0, so I think your game is very likely to crash if you start that mission again.
Yeah, it will. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pick up the Rampage and Death Warp. And then we're just going to have a little bit of a waiting period, which is unfortunate. I've never had that happen before. I'm just going to... This is a stunt jump here, and we're just going to take a little bit to drown, but Rampages always fail when you die, so while we've gotten the mission failed. Actually, I suppose I don't need to die, do I? Since the mission's already failed. The question is if there's just a way to get back up.
You might just reload the save, I don't know, because I don't know if there's a convenient way to get back up. But anyways, I guess we'll turn it back over to the marathon hosts while we
Yeah.
Not a problem. Once again, I do want to remind everybody that you are watching Midwest Speedfest Fall Frenzy. This is a 4-day charity speedrun marathon supporting One Iowa. To donate, please go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type !donate in the chat and follow the link. Please don't forget to put your donation towards one of our incentives. And currently we are trying to meet the $500 goal for the Splatoon bonus game run. That would be happening here after the next couple of runs. So it looks like you have just about 2 hours or so, just under 2 hours there to reach it, as we have the rest of GTA Vice City Stories, and then Final Fantasy 15 and Pit People before Splatoon would be run. So let's try to do our best to make sure that we can go ahead and get that running. While we, I do want to also mention and give a big shout out to our friends over at the Japanese Restream. Midwest Speedfest Fall Frenzy is being restreamed in Japanese by our friends over at Japanese Restream. You can find their channel at twitch.tv/Japanese_Restream. We have worked with them several times now, and we are very grateful for all the work they do to bring marathons like ours to a larger audience. Especially since we are running this game in Japanese, I wanted to make sure that we send our love to the Japanese Restream team. So thank you all for everything that you do for us here. I do want to also mention that we have a in-person marathon coming up here soon. The next in-person marathon is Midwest Speedfest 2024. It will take place at the Crown Plaza, Minneapolis West in Minnesota on April 19th through the 21st as part of VGMCon Sunshine Resort. You can book your tickets to VGMCon now by visiting vgmcon.org.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that that happened. Not sure why that happened. Oh my gosh, all the audio bugs.
You skip the Rampage failed cutscene or...
I skipped it fine, I thought. Maybe I didn't skip the second one correctly. That might be it. I don't know. Anyways, we get to just chillax for a little bit. So how's everyone's day?
I will go back to what I was talking about earlier. I do believe that this game is not... So, Wolf was mentioning that you can do LCS or Liberty City Stories on mobile. I think that's the LCS as well as Chinatown Wars have been released on mobile. I don't know if you can still buy them,
Yep.
but
3D
Vice City
Trilogy is
Stories,
also on mobile.
3D trilogy, yeah. GTA 3, Vice City, and then San Andreas. For whatever reason, this game has not been re-released. Very likely the reason is probably just due to licensing issues. So that's why if you're wanting to play this game, the only two platforms you could probably pick it up on, like if you want to play it on a console, are probably going to be PSP and PS2. It used to be that if you had like a PS Vita, you could buy it in a bundle, but I don't know what's happened to that bundle. But I do recommend playing this game if you haven't played it before. There's a lot of good music. The production value of this game is actually incredibly high, even though it's a PSP game, and it looks like the graphics might be scaled down. It's actually fairly, it's a really good game to play in general. If you're interested in playing it, I do recommend doing so. I'll stay quiet so that Wolf can do the skip.
Hopefully. Hey, look, it's Vic's mom.
Boys, Mom! Victor, put your brother down.
What friend at the airport?
Okay, that looked good.
Pink. No blue. No white.
There we go. Okay, that's what was supposed to happen. Okay. We're good now.
This dude's plane could be leaving anytime. So let's pop big time.
I did unfortunately die before I got to land. Would have been a little faster if I could get to land, but not the end of the world. Still, for once, get to showcase this mission, and hopefully I can showcase Pakba. See, I told you that my run would die, and PB would die anyway to this mission.
It's VCS. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, especially at a marathon.
Always. Always, yeah. I think even my PB, which is 3rd place, at least for emulator, which emulator does currently have better times than real hardware. Maybe you can change that scaler. My PV still wasn't very good. I had to redo truck stop dupe. For, I don't remember what reason. It was still 210. So only like 10, 15 minutes behind world record, which is pretty good for this game. But, welcome to the airport. Welcome to the metal detector. This is where I was at the beginning of the run, funnily enough. Now our car's gonna get stuck for some reason. I don't know why this happens. Why do I have an AK? Oh, because I duped this mission. Oh, crap. I don't have my grenades. Is that a big deal, though?
It
I don't think it
could be.
is. No, I don't think it is.
I don't think you need
I can
grenades
use the...
anymore.
I guess I'll just shoot the car. Okay, so now we gotta hope for non-duped enemies, but it looks like they are duped. Yep. Can use the AK for this mission, though. Which is very flashy. Normally you can't do that. Very flashy indeed. Never get to use this gun, so... Alright, so now I'm gonna spam skip cutscene because I do not want this cutscene to restart. Okay, good. It did not restart. If it restarted, we would have had a load of saves. Oh, I do have my nades. Oh, because I still duped the mission. Okay, we're good. Alright, we're fine. We have the nades and an AK. You know what? I'll take it. So now we need to buy back our weapons. And that's a payday pager. That's no big deal. And we need to start paramedic.
So we're going to be doing the second instance of the partial act change bypass glitch, which is going to allow us to skip a whole bunch of missions in Chapter 3 and do the missions that are remaining in pretty much any order that we please. So I'll give Wolf some more quiet time here.
Yep, this pack is a lot easier than the first one, because the save marker won't despawn, like when you cancel the mission, unless you're literally on top of it. This is a much, much easier pack, though. Easy. Now we're going to restart our game again. And we're on to Act 3, with some bits and pieces missing. So we should see MRG. Yep, we are good. And we do have an ambulance in the garage. And once again, it's just a short drive. But we aren't, like, on a very tight timer. Just the paramedic timer, I guess. But so we should start getting spammed with pagers. I'm very tempted to actually go and do an NMG run after this, but get a break from all this 90%, you know.
Well,
so this time we're
about to take the police bike and we're going to start a rampage. So we're going to dupe the very next mission, or sorry, the police car in this case. We're going to dupe the next mission, which is accidents will happen. So we're going to get on mission 0 with a rampage, and then we're going to fly on over to the film studio, and we're going to watch a very unique cutscene.
Yeah.
¡Payaso!
What I'm gonna do is once this pager runs out, I'm gonna start and cancel Vigilante. That won't seem to do anything really, but it actually stops the spawn of the rampage enemies. Like that's probably the last group we're gonna see. This just makes it a little easier. It doesn't lose any time, I don't think, because this rampage you're waiting ground anyway. It's the first dupe of the act. You can't really chain it with anything. So we're gonna do. You said accidents will happen. Dupe. Mention that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will point out the benefit of why we did partial act change bypass here. Since Lance appears in both Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, if we do the partial act change bypass glitch, then every single Lance mission gets skipped in Chapter 3. And obviously that's going to save a lot of time. So I think in calculation, it saves about an hour's worth of time in the speedrun, which is pretty significant.
Yeah. There's there's a lot of Lance missions. We're not going to go through every single one, but not only does it skip all the really long and annoying Lance missions, it skips there's 2 Lance missions that requires you to get a bunch of empires. I think for the first one you need to take over 2, and then the second one you need to take over another 2, because you get like the one from Hostile Takeover, and you get the 3 that you already have. Or like 2 or 3 that you already have from taking over Marty's stuff. But there's 2 missions that require you to take over empires, which are slow. So luckily we don't have to do that. So
What do you think, eh?
anyways, here's another
Genius.
annoying dupe.
Pancake,
So give me a second.
genius, Rennie. Genius, darling. It is the story of the age. Success.
Right, spam. Alright, 2 helicopters, that's a good sign. Alright, yeah, we're good. So I'm gonna pick up an M249 because that'll be useful for which mission? Kill Phil?
Yeah, Kill Phil.
I think that's
Kill Phil Part 2,
it.
actually.
Yeah, Kill Phil Part 2. And then we get the minigun for Hostile Takeover, so yeah. So accidents will happen dupe. Normally, if we didn't do pack, but would skip a mission called the Colonel's Coke. We'll get to that in a minute. Why it doesn't skip Colonel's Coke, it skips the mission Kill Phil instead. But the dupe doesn't change a lot about this mission. You'll see some like double cars. Like I'm sure there was 2 trucks over by that marker that we started by. You saw 2 helicopters in the cutscene. But otherwise, it doesn't really change anything about the mission itself. I don't think the action meter goes down. That car just got swallowed by the ground. I don't know what that was about. But
yeah, there's
so
nothing major that happens if you dupe the mission. Sorry. If you dupe the mission, you get some really interesting effects, but really nothing else. As soon as the mission ends, there is one effect that we will use to our benefit, is that it will allow us to keep the car if we drop the Infernus in a very specific place as the ending cutscene fades out.
That's not a reason of the dupe, by the way. That happens normally, too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, we do that in NMG and Hundo, so it's not even like a Japanese version or anything. That's every version of the game in every instance. For some reason, if you don't skip the cutscene right away, and you just wait till like the camera kind of goes under the car, it keeps the car for some reason. Also, nice thing about this car, it's heavy, so we can just push cars out of the way. And I assume it doesn't take very much like collision damage because, you know, we're ramming into so many cars. But we're avoiding these ramps because going airborne at all in this mission is slow-mo. But hitting those ramps especially is really slow. And you can accidentally hit them and fly into the water on that last one. But about to finish the mission here. And just 1 second. Handbrake turn, and now you're gonna see we don't skip the cutscene right away. We wait till the camera kind of points below the car, like that. And mission passed. And you can see the car's still here. I think it loses its heavy properties and its high health, but still very nice.
It does. At this point right now, we're just going to do a very long south to north drive across the island. The purpose of these kinds of missions, like we just did a mission where the premise was we're going to be filming a commercial. It pretty much just teaches you how to navigate around this new island that you've been put on. So you'll be seeing a lot of south to north or north to south drives happen as part of this run. There's not really too much that's going to be happening in those, so I think we can go ahead and turn it over to the marathon host if you have any donations that you want to read or anything else.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I do again want to mention that you are watching Midwest Speedfest Fall Frenzy, a 4-day charity speedrun marathon supporting One Iowa. To donate, please go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type in !donate in the chat and follow the links. And don't forget to put your donation towards one of our incentives. And again, we are trying to reach that $500 goal here for Splatoon, for the any percent run of Splatoon by King J0444. We're at $282 out of that $500 goal, so please make sure that you use the donations, donate towards it, put your money towards that bonus game. Let's see some more Midwest Speedfest. Let's help out One Iowa even more. And speaking of One Iowa, Midwest Speedfest Fall Frenzy is supporting One Iowa. One Iowa seeks to improve the lives of LGBTQ Iowans by protecting and advancing equality and inclusiveness through education, improving workplace culture, and increasing access to quality healthcare across the state of Iowa. You can donate directly to One Iowa by typing !donate in chat, or by going to donate.midwestspeedfest.com. But to learn more about One Iowa, please visit oneiowa.org. That's ONEIOWA.org.
Awesome. So now we're doing a mission for Rennie again. So the last mission that we did was for Rennie called Accidents Will Happen. This mission is relatively the same premise where we're filming some kind of commercial for Rennie and we're driving this jet ski around to do a bunch of fancy like ramp jumps with the jet ski. We're pretty much doing this mission normally, so there's not really anything fancy to it. The mission that we skipped by duping Accidents Will Happen was Kill Phil, and as I'd mentioned, if you're looking to play the game legally in this case, the person that we meet in that mission, Kill Phil, is actually Phil Collins, and it's suspected the reason why this game hasn't been released is because of licensing issues with that. But as part of this mission, there's not too much to talk about. I think we also were going to talk about what happens as part of the Accidents Will Happen dupe is that you don't have to do the Colonel's Coke. The reason why that mission also gets skipped is because of the partial act change bypass behavior. I mentioned that the act change script will go ahead and clear out all of the missions that you've passed for a particular mission strand. There's actually the reason why that mission gets skipped is because there's some residue left over from the previous mission strands in Act 2, and since those missions are marked as completed and the script can't go out and clean the ones that fill in the gaps or like fill in spots for the Colonel's Coke, the game considers them passed, and it means that we don't have to actually pass that mission or do that mission anymore.
Wow.
Which Colonel's Coke is actually really, really slow, and
loud.
yeah, you fly around in a helicopter guarding a boat, and I don't know how long that mission takes. I think it's like 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say 6 to 7. I think. It is an auto-scroller, so I think even though it's such a long auto-scroller, we don't do very much in 100%. I think we pop like only 3 balloons and pick up some binoculars. I think that's all we do. You would think that we would do a lot more since, we have a helicopter and, you can pop balloons by shooting them with your machine gun, but I don't know. Anyway, welcome to, I guess this is the fastest land vehicle in VCS at least. I don't know what they are in the other games, but probably some kind of bike.
Preferably you take the PCJ, because I'd say it's probably the fastest vehicle you can get on, at least the fastest accessible vehicle most of the time.
Yeah, because there's in VC.
We're doing a very long and boring south to north drive just to get back to the film studio. It's probably the best way to get there. There are some other tricks that we've thought of, like using another skimmer that's nearby, but it's slow to try and do that, so we just use the PCJ that the previous mission gives us. So
there's another skimmer
to Killfield Part 2. I'll let you take over, Wolf.
There's another skimmer. I know there's one in the PS2 version, but
I think it's
for the Crimson Waterwing.
Oh wait, no, yeah, it's you take the jet ski, not skimmer.
Yeah. There's the jet ski. There's, I guess, the hovercraft you could also potentially use. There's the air ambulance. Man, I am hitting everything today. I fell off my jet ski like once or twice during the previous mission too. So, yeah, we were talking about how the Colonel's Coke is kind of seemingly arbitrarily skipped because the PACBA Act 2 didn't have any of those. Whoa. Okay. That was a little strange. But I think there's some other missions that are also seemingly randomly skipped. So there's High Wire. That's the 4th Mendez mission. That is the longest story mission in the game. Clocking in at about 10 minutes. For just the mission itself, really. What else? There's, trying to think. There's Farewell to Arms, which is the 3rd Gonzalez mission, one of my personal favorite missions. There's, man, I can't think. Domo Arigato Domestobado. That skipped as well. So anything else? I think that's everything.
Those are the most notable ones, just because they're so long.
I think that might be all the missions. Okay, so in the international version, or even in, well, I guess it depends on how much health you have. Now, okay, it really does not want to get up here. All right,
I would have just gotten out.
That's fine. Well, the reason I'm trying to do that is because the car will be there, so I can do the quick death warp. So I guess I'll just take some damage, right now, for example.
What a waste of my lead.
Because I do want to...
RSVP,
What?
bitch.
Excuse me? What was that? Vic's trying to do some acrobatics on the BMX. Trying to stunt with the BMX, I suppose. So this is why we have the M249, because you can see it can one-shot anyone. The BMX actually goes faster if you lean all the way forward, same with the jet ski. That's why I didn't do the thing that I've been doing with the bikes, where I kind of just partially lean forward. But I guess I'll take some damage here and in the big room.
Bye, asshole. Take him down.
I still think you're very brave to just take the bike up here.
No one's gonna miss you.
Well, again, Japanese version. I don't know if that's the fastest way to do it. I know you can, do precise rocket shot in NMG, but we don't have rockets, so I don't know that might just be the fastest way. So they all have guns, it looks like, except the first guy I killed. So that's unfortunate. Because it's whoever you kill last. So I guess I still shouldn't have killed that guy. But whoever you killed last drops the key card. So normally you want someone who runs towards you, but didn't. Like, even the guy with the bat was kind of just standing there. So.
Wasn't too
I'm gonna get
bad.
very up close and personal. Hello. Okay, this is. Okay, that's. Okay, this is a bit much. Okay, I took a little too much damage.
Take him! I've got him!
Just cleaning the shit.
Took a little bit too much damage.
This is a shortcut.
Definitely a mark at the moment.
Oh yeah. I know where those enemies are, it's fine. Okay. Fine, the pager coming in. Okay. So now you can see we have a D on the map. That's for the Diaz missions that we're going to do later. Now we're going to go on to the mugshot longshot. Yet again, another auto-scroller. Yet again, one of the longest missions in the game. Noticing a pattern here. There is a way to skip this mission. I don't think it's frame perfect. I think it's 2 frames. So, clearly, not viable. But, welcome to the Mendez Mansion. We'll see it towards the end of the run a little bit more. But, for now, we get to do another drive all the way across the map, north to south. So, I'm going to take this Sentinel XS for now, which is just like an average car. Wish there was a southwest spawn somewhere, but I'm going to switch to the PCJ because it's a PCJ. This car has some understeer, but here's a PCJ spawn. We use that a couple times. Very nice spawn in Hundo, I must say. There's a lot of PCJ spawns around here. There's one over by the mall. Anyway, if you want to talk about what we're going to do after this mission.
So what Wolf was talking about earlier when he said that it's possible to skip this mission, being frame perfect or at least 2 frames. The very next mission that we're going to do is called Homes on the Range, and we're going to do something similar to what we did with the Caught as an Act stream that we did earlier, where we use the mission over and over again to skip different missions. And technically, the way that you could skip Mugshot Longshot is whenever you do the Homes on the Range skip, similar to what we did with the Cause and Act mission, is there's like a very small frame of time where you can pass a particular mission. So if you are observant and you look at the map after Wolf passes a mission, you'll notice that all of the mission markers do not come back instantly at the same time. They come back sequentially, like one after the other, every 2 frames or like every frame or so. And if you pass the Homes on the Range mission while the game is trying to load the mission marker for the Mendez mission strain, then you can skip this mission. But obviously, that's very difficult to do. And that's one of the ways that we know of to skip this mission. But it's very risky. You obviously don't want to do it in a marathon run. If somebody is looking for a world record in a game, in a GTA game, then I encourage you to attempt to do it.
Along with skipping every Rennie mission.
That too.
And every Mendez mission, which I know the rest of the Rennie missions are frame perfect, and it is faster to skip most of the Rennie missions. Well, I wouldn't say most of them. All of them are over 2 minutes. Mendez missions. Well, I don't know. Would it be faster to skip the Burning Bridge? Probably. Trying to think. I'm gonna pick up some armor here because of this mission. We're gonna have 4 stars here in a second. Hey, look, a balloon. So what I'm gonna do is, okay, never mind, I'm not gonna do that. That was a slightly new strat I was gonna do, but, I got a little stuck on a tree. The new strat, what I was gonna do is I was gonna go in that marina prematurely, but that's what you do in Hundo. Because balloons. Get more balloons during this mission than you do Colonel's Coat. So, slightly new strat. We're gonna go do this, instead of going to that marker, that little particular place I was standing, you can take the photo from there, which was thought to be possible. No one really tried it out, and then Ethan figured out it's a pretty precise spot. It's not like pixel perfect or anything, but it's a pretty precise spot where you have to aim. You can see we have 4 stars. It's fantastic. And we're on a bike. It's fantastic. We're gonna pay and spray. Because it's fantastic. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Kind of got unlucky with that, that roadblock. But it's fine.
Yeah, it was a little unfortunate. Pink bike. Alright. So now, we're gonna grab a cop bike. Now, you don't need to lose the police attention in this mission. It's just, 4 stars on a bike. Going over a bridge. I don't think anyone wants that. I do think you don't ever drown if you finish Beach Patrol. I'm pretty sure that's the thing. Like, you don't drown if you finish Beach Patrol. But, like, that mission is awful anyway. Luckily, we insta-pass it in Hundo. No one likes it. No one likes a good majority of the submissions in this game. This game has... I think LCS has more submissions overall. But the Hundo run is shorter, probably because you insta-pass, like, every single one of those really long and boring side missions. VCS doesn't have as many. But I do think LCS is a longer game overall. When it comes to side content. VCS, though, is infamous for 2 missions, really. And that's Firecopter and Air Rescue. Firecopter is about 25 minutes, give or take. You fly a really slow helicopter that if you even ever so slightly graze it against a twig, it will blow up. And there's no checkpoints. Air Rescue is much longer. It's over an hour long. Taxi is actually pretty short in this game. It's over an hour long. And yet again, another slow helicopter that if you touch a twig, you will blow up. Luckily, there's a way you can use a different helicopter for that mission. You can use a Hunter, which is very flashy and saves like 20 minutes. Those are both awful. Air Rescue does have checkpoints every 5 levels, but you have to do 15 levels, so... they designed this game well.
I don't recommend doing Air Rescue if you can avoid it.
Yeah, unfortunately that is, instead of paramedic, like in most of the games, well, at least VC, I think SA and LCS, it all gives you like a health boost. But like GTA 3, instead of giving you health boost, it gives you infinite sprint. Air Rescue is what gives you the health boost, unfortunately. Very sad. And Vigilante still gives you the armor boost, but you don't have access to a Hunter until after you complete the game. So, yeah. Anyways, here we are.
We're here at the golf course, and similar to what I was talking about earlier, where we were doing Call as an Act to skip a bunch of missions, that D on the map for Diaz, we're going to be doing Homes on the Range in a similar style, since this is a very short mission we can control. I'm actually going to be quiet, and then I'll explain a little bit more afterwards.
Yeah, this is the most boring part of the run. Unfortunately.
I have a deal coming up very soon, Vic.
Golf is hard, folks. Perfect. 6655443321110. Looked good. And we can't tell if we actually properly did that skip until later, after we do the second one. So that should have skipped the first Diaz mission, Steal the Deal, which is, I believe, the longest of the Diaz missions. It's about 6 to 7 minutes. Please stop spinning out on me. We're going to start this on Mission 0 Rampage and wait like a minute. And we get to do this 3 more times.
So,
Anyways,
likewise,
Scalar, continue.
We're going to be doing the on Mission 0 chaining here, to where we will pass all the Diaz missions. So, Steal the Deal is the very first one, the Exchange, then Over the Top, and then Last Stand is the final mission of the game, but we're going to be passing it here in this string of Homes on the Range missions that we're doing. There's not really a whole lot to do. It's probably just going to be another 8 or so minutes. Probably just throw it over to the marathon host if there's anything else that you want to discuss, any donations or anything that you want to talk about.
Sure. I do want to again remind everyone that you are watching Midwest Speedfest Fall Frenzy, a 4-day charity speedrun marathon supporting One Iowa. In order to donate, please go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type !donate in the chat and follow the link. And please don't forget to put your donation towards one of our incentives. We are still trying to reach that $500 goal here for Splatoon bonus game. The bonus game, which is Splatoon. If met, King J0444 will do that any percent run of Splatoon, and it looks like you do only have just a few hours left in order to meet that. We've got the rest of GTA Vice City Stories, as well as Final Fantasy 15 and Pit People coming up shortly afterwards. So you have just a few more hours left in order to go ahead and get those donations in to meet that final game, or that bonus game here before the last game of the night. We would love to see Splatoon. It's such a fantastic and fun run. There's a lot of nice movement tech, and it's a blast to watch. So please make sure you get your donations in. If you cannot donate directly for whatever reason, please consider subscribing to Midwest Speedfest or by cheering bits. All Twitch revenue we receive during the event will be donated towards One Iowa. And if you do have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. Simply go to your settings, then go to connections, and connect your Twitch account with your Amazon account to get Prime Gaming, meaning you'll have one free subscription every month. So please don't forget to subscribe and cheer and use your Prime, Twitch Prime as well if you have it available. All of those proceeds will go towards One Iowa here during the marathon.
So I think that was a Gonzalez pager, right? So I think you did.
Yep, it was. Yeah, the first 2 are good. Yep. First 2 are good. So if you're seeing me start and cancel Vigilante, that's just because I don't want spawns to mess with me. I don't think the sharks are aggroed at us because we haven't taken over any of their empires. Hey, look, audio bug. I don't know what that was. Rain. I don't know. Honestly, does it even rain at all in any percent? I don't even know if we play the game long enough. Rain is very rare in this game, so...
I don't actually know the answer to that. It does rain, it's just... Yeah, it's very rare that I never really see it in any runs.
Yeah. I see an NMG like twice, but I don't ever see it in any percent. Maybe we just save past all of them.
Okay. Well,
Unfortunately, this is very boring.
yeah. So I do have the question, Wolf. What advice would you give people who are looking to get started in speedrunning or start speedrunning this game?
Don't. But if you do, don't start with any percent or 100%. Start with no major glitches. That game is it's a longer run. Now, you're going to be looking at probably close to 5, even 6 hours if you're newer to, controller speedrunning. For your first run. But it is a pretty easy run. It's just kind of lengthy. Just give me a second here, and I'll continue speaking in a second.
Well played, Vic.
Thanks.
Regard this as a down payment on your services. I'll be in touch.
Ooh, I was a little early. See what
Fine.
pager we get. Yep, we're good. Okay, so start with no major glitches. While it may be longer, you'll get used to it. Use Japanese version for that. It will make your life easier too. Once you get, I would say, a sub 420, I think you would be good to move on to any percent. That's like the next step. So I'm not counting like any non-full game runs in this case, because those you can start whenever, really. I would recommend doing those before 100%. Any percent, I'd say when Hundo and any percent are very different, but at least knowing the any percent route well, not necessarily having a good time because again they're run very based on luck. But once you know like how to do on mission 0 well and all that, then Hundo would be a good choice. We do have a fully written, detailed route out. I am planning to make a 100% tutorial soon, if I ever do finish a run of it. And revamp. I do have an any percent tutorial for this game. It's a little outdated. I do plan to make an updated version, and it's with my really old run. I do plan to make an updated version with better quality. Hundo is... It could probably be sub 11, but currently world record's like 11 and a half hours. Your first run would probably be close to 20. But we do have, again, as I said, a fully written route. That you need to have a lot of endurance, a lot of skill for. And why I say you should do any percent first is because you need good grasp of the glitches. VCS has the most on mission 0 glitches out of all of the 3D games. As 25 over, which I think 3 and LCS each have 22 or something like that. Okay, good. We played golf. Alright, just one more skip.
Well played, Vic.
Thanks.
Regard this as a down payment on your services. I'll be in touch.
Ooh, that was a little early. I don't know if that'll work. Alright.
It'll work.
It'll work, Copium. The way we can check is by starting and canceling Vigilante. If the D is gone, we have done it, and we have.
Nice.
So that's a pretty annoying mission, or like section of the run, and very boring. Now we're just gonna actually do golf normally.
I'll wait until you're done with this before I ask you the follow-up question to the speedrunning.
You can go ahead now.
Okay. So, for the people that are watching this game and they are inspired by at least the any percent portion, what exactly is your favorite part of the any percent run compared to any of the other categories of this game?
I would say the reason I love any percent over NMG, I do prefer Hundo, but again, it's such a big time contribution. And you know, you can't use the Japanese version for the 100% route. You have to use the US version specifically. Hello, I want to go the other way. I really love really glitched runs. Not to the point where it's like borders on a friggin' miracle, like a SSU or AJS kind of run. Well, I can't say that. I like LCS 90%, but like VC and SA where it's millisecond perfect, I don't prefer as much. But like VCS 90% is probably my favorite reasonable time run. VCS Hundo, I love. I love doing it. I still have yet to finish a full run, but I love that run. if I had, oh my goodness, if I had more time, I would do more runs of it. Like, yeah. LCS Hundo is the hardest run in the entire GTA series, I'd say, because it also borders on a miracle. It's about, not only is it frame perfect, it's also luck dependent. About like 15 times over for you to finish a run of that. It's awful. It's extremely difficult. But if it was less annoying to get on Mission Zero in that game, the category I think would be a lot more fun because it is, less luck based than any percent outside of getting on Mission Zero. I would say, at least.
I'm just getting unlucky with traffic.
Yeah, it's really rough. I do not like this island very much. Why I refuse to do an Act 3 only run of NMG.
Premise of
You
this
get in the
mission,
correct.
what we're doing is that we're picking up a van and it's got some medicine in the back and we're gonna go deliver it. And that deal is unfortunately gonna go wrong. So that deal
Spoilers,
point
man.
is gonna be just around the corner.
Spoilers.
Yeah, sorry, spoiler
It's gonna
alert.
go perfectly fine, I swear. Just like every other deal in this game has gone. Okay, so I'm gonna try and jump and skip an animation. Oh! That was a little more than I wanted to do. Haven't done that in a long time. I just wanted to skip the animation. Doing the mega jump there, yes, it can save time if you do it perfectly. That was not perfectly. That was pretty funny, though. Hello, sharks. The sharks are the most annoying gang. Thank goodness we don't have to touch them in this category at all. Because they dominate the Empire sites on the East Island. East. This island. So now we're going to go to Starfish Island, which is like the only time we do that in this run. Pretty sure it's actually the only time we go to Starfish Island in this run, because we don't do DS missions and we don't do Conduct Unbecoming.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, Tech, we're going to have some copyrighted music here in a second if you want to go ahead and mute the feed. And it will be like that until we leave this area.
Yep, I'm gonna shoot you. You want the floor, huh?
So what I did, I ran over those two guys on purpose to avoid getting 3 stars, because having 3 stars is extremely irritating. So I'm going to go back to control setup 2, because I'm going to look behind once I get onto the bridge area. So, like, right about now. Now, my control, you can see the games, not only is it in slow-mo, you're good to unmute it, by the way, Tech. I can't see chat because it's blocked by the pinned message, and it's doing that weird thing where only one message is shown at once. I don't know how to fix that, but the copyrighted music is gone. There is an absolute banger radio in this game. Unfortunately, we just cannot play it because copyright. Hello, friends. That was my bad not turning properly. You can really only use the map and feelings to navigate this. This is the deadly bridge. If a cop car comes up behind you, like 80% of the time, they'll pit maneuver you off the bridge. Luckily, that cop car didn't catch up to me in time. There is a very, like, safe way to do this, and that's by going into the alleyways. I don't do that, though, because, you know, I'm a real speedrunner. Pretty sure you do that, Scalar, right? Or did
Not
do
anymore.
it? Not anymore. You haven't ran the game in like a year. Not anymore.
I manned up the last time I did this. Don't take that route
Oh,
anymore.
very good. I don't even know what the route is. I just know it's through some alleyways. So, you know. Say hello to the Oceanic.
Why,
Boom. I don't know why I death warped. I just realized. Why did I do that?
I was wondering what you were
Why
doing.
did... That's NMG.
It's not a big deal.
No, it's not.
You just need a police vehicle.
Yeah, I guess that puts me slightly closer to the police station. This is what happens when you were practicing too much hundo. Surprised I didn't go and pop the balloons that you're supposed to do after the mission and do the rampage. Ugh. Okay, it's fine. So what we were supposed to do... Hello, other side. The tiredness is showing. What you're supposed to do is, like, kind of RNG cop vehicle, either a cop car or a police bike, and there's a rampage right by the end of that mission. It's a minigun rampage. Very cool. However, we didn't... Well, I can't say we didn't get a car. I death warped, because that's an NMG or hundo strat. But there is another minigun rampage just over here that works just the same. And honestly, this one's kind of better too because it doesn't have any gang spawns because it's a destroyed vehicles rampage. It only will work if I can get up the staircase. Because you can't run with the minigun. Please let me up the staircase. Thank you.
Oh my. There we go.
So it's just hiding back here. See, doing hundo then at 8% like I did, you know where all the rampages are. Don't do that though. I don't recommend it. So now we're gonna do hostile takeover dupe, which I hope I can do correctly. We are gonna get 30k minigun ammo, which we'll do for pretty much the rest of the run. We just crossed 2 hours, I see. Unfortunately, not world record. But I think we will be well under estimate, considering we have this mission, the next mission, which is really short, and then the final mission, which is decently long. It's like 5 or 6 minutes. And then that's the run, so... yeah. Epic. This dupe is pretty simple. I did manage to crash the game, or soft lock it. I did one of those in my last run. But I did also manage the soft lock snitch hitch dupe, so I can't say too much about that.
We'll pray this one goes well.
Yeah, I know what I did wrong, so... But now we've got, like... 30 seconds to kill. Oh, Fred.
Your biggest mistake, being born.
So, how's it going, chat? Do you have any questions for me, Scalar?
Oh, you Aussies are all
Well,
alike.
I guess we can turn it over to the marathon host for the time being, and then we'll continue.
Sure, not a problem. Just want to again mention that you're watching Midwest Speed Fest Fall Frenzy, and we are supporting One Iowa. You can also donate through donate.midwestspeedfest.com and take a look at the incentives. To add your donation to an incentive, just scroll to the bottom of the donation page and click Add Incentives, and pick an incentive, mark your choice if it's a bid war for the future, and select Add. You can use !incentives in chat for a list of the incentives. Right now, what we do have open is the bonus game number 2, which is the Splatoon run here. If we can meet that, King JO444 will perform the any percent run of Splatoon. We're at $282 out of $500 towards that goal. We do have just a little bit of time left here for that bonus run to be added in, so let's please make sure that we are taking a look and getting that in. And once again, Midwest Speed Fest Fall Frenzy is supporting One Iowa.
Awesome. So I see
Thank
that we got
you.
rated by GDQ. That's pretty cool.
Holy
Welcome,
cow.
everyone.
Hello, welcome from GDQ.
Sting a little.
Trip on that.
So, right now, we're just doing this mission with the minigun. I think we have to kill like double the amount of enemies. Not a big deal. We got some pretty powerful guns, but guess what? Japanese version.
Shit is over.
I think we will be able to heal in the next mission, so.
It's over.
Could be.
So this
the
dupe
premise-
skips
And it skips, what is it? Unfriendly competition?
unfriendly competition.
It will hurt you.
Yeah, the premise of this mission, or what we're trying to do, is we need to kill 15 guys to advance the mission. This mission pretty much runs exactly the same, whether or not it's duped. So what we're going to do is we're going to kill all these guys on the bikes as quick as we can. We might have to follow some of them.
Yeah, we're gonna have to follow a good amount of them. It's easier to do that with the M249, killing all of them, and obviously when it's not duped. It's pretty hard to do that with the minigun because you can't really auto aim very well with the minigun, like a lot of guys at once. So your best bet is to kind of like free aim all of them, but as you can see, that's not working too well for me.
You lost your tire there.
Yeah, it was the back one. Oh, the back one's gone on this one too. Lovely. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go get the PCJ.
That's probably a good call here.
It's a pink PCJ.
Okay. Well, what we want to do is we want to get rid of the rest of these guys. As soon as we get rid of the final guys who are driving around on the bike, then the mission will pass. There we go.
So, you can skip Purple Haze, the one with the slow-mo van and all that. With that mission, it's slower first off, unfortunately, just by a little bit. And it's extremely difficult to pull off. It's not frame perfect or anything, it's just really annoying to pull off.
It's very annoying to pull off. Fun fact, I'm the one that found that.
Yeah,
I don't
you
like
found
it.
a lot of stuff. you found Hostile Takeover dupe itself, too, so.
Okay. Burning Bridges is a very short mission. So what we're going to do is we've actually been, I don't want to say like kidnapped. Kidnapped's not the right word, but we got taken to
Yeah,
this,
I would say
like,
kidnapped is the right word.
we got taken to this like gas repository, and now we need to escape. On the right side of the screen is a pressure meter, and we need to escape before that pressure meter fills up.
When I tell Mom about this, you're gonna be sorry.
There's a little
Right,
cool
good,
skip,
you
I
like-
think you also found that.
Yeah, I find it interesting that you got rid of the helicopter.
It has done some annoying things in the past. So,
You'll have to let me know what that is later.
that's more of an international thing, but it's destroyed me before.
Oh.
And that's kind of more of a muscle memory Nintendo thing.
Well, we were talking about like the radio in this game is a banger. So, are there any of the songs that you think are your favorite?
In the Air Tonight.
That's also the premise of a mission in this game. It's one of the final missions if you're playing the game casually.
Yeah, it's like the fourth to last, I think.
Comparatively speaking, is there a particular radio station that you like?
I don't know. I don't listen to the radio.
My favorite.
I don't know what the
game
they're
is
called.
Paradise FM.
Steer around my vessel, baby.
You got a comment. You didn't get a comment.
It didn't. No. We're just gonna go grab one from the police station. No big deal. So we're going on to the final mission, So Long Shlong Dupe, that skips In the Air Tonight the mission, where you kind of have to protect Phil Collins while he's at a concert. It's a very interesting mission. It's a pretty tricky mission, even casually. It's pretty tricky, but
In the air.
I'd say another one of my favorite songs. I don't know what radio's on, but it's Gloria. I think it's like Laura Branigan, I think is the artist.
I unfortunately.
That's a
don't
good
know.
one too. I think 99 Left Balloons, like the English version, is in this game too. I think so. Anyway,
While we're getting into this last mission, do we have some time for a donation?
We do.
absolutely.
Awesome. I want to send a thanks to our friend Soy Milk Latte for the $25 donation here, and they say Mid Speed West Fest good. You're close, Soy Milk Latte. This is the Midwest Speed Fest. We are benefiting One Iowa, You can continue to donate by going to donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type !donate in the chat and follow that link. Don't forget to put your donation towards one of our incentives. And right now, the current incentive we have is the bonus game number 2, which is the Splatoon run. We're still at that $282 out of 500. So if you do donate, please make sure that you are marking your donation towards that bonus game number 2. We do want to see some more Midwest Speedfest. We do want to see that Splatoon run in. We only have just a couple more runs after this one finishes to get it in. So please, please, please help out. Make sure that you are putting your money towards that incentive, and also helping out our good friends at One Iowa to help out the lives of LGBTQ Iowans statewide.
I whacked that with a sword and it caught on fire. Very nice. Alright, so we gotta start this mission at about 20 to 25 seconds remaining, so, just for timing purposes. Because the dupe is a little tricky.
Farewell, faithful friend.
I'll give
The
Wolf
phoenix
quiet
must
time.
burn
First before she rises. Best line in the game right there. Beautiful.
Hey, what's wrong?
So we gotta skip the cutscene at 1 second remaining.
Diego Mendez, that's who.
Why?
Because I put you in contact with Ricardo Diaz. Diego's men will be here any second. Farewell, faithful friend. The phoenix must burn first before she rises. Diego's men will be.
Okay, good. There we go.
No one's gonna miss you.
Honestly, I might use my AK here. So 1, 2, 3. We gotta kill specifically 24 guys. 4, 5.
Oh yeah, it's loaded.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Good. So we count there so you can be as close to the car as possible. I don't like that though. Got completely wrecked. Alright, that's a little bit annoying. Can I get like a sports car or something here? I guess I can get the Phoenix. Okay, I'll get the PCJ and then I'll pick up the Phoenix. I haven't had to do this in a while. It's whatever. Well, I'll take this. Probably quicker than switching to the Phoenix. The Phoenix is not a very good car. Yeah. Oh, the Phoenix is a little out of the way. And it's slower than the Banshee, so. Banshee's, honestly, it's hard, it takes some learning to control it. But it is a pretty good car. Alright, anyways. Final shots fired, most likely.
Hey, dead man.
So the game gives us a Sentinel XS, but remember Sentinels are slow of any variety. So we'll switch back over to our Banshee. Hop in. And now this drive is extremely scary. But
All this macho bullshit. I'll be glad when I'm a
okay.
woman.
Keep your head down.
Physics,
In your
yo.
lap, darling?
On second thoughts,
It's an
keep
absolute
shooting.
I'm pretty sure I knew that was there and I still, you know. Oh dear God. Alright, we're fine. Yeah, this is not an easy final drive, because you have to do all the way from mid-Vice Point to the South Hospital. Now, when the mission passes, that is not time. It is when the credits play. Once the first frame the credits are shown is when time. So thank you all for hanging out during this run. This was a very nice run. Alright, so not time. Time is when the credits play.
You done lost your mind.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Time. Okay, I skipped the credits immediately, but my time is 2:13:49. That is a pretty good time for a marathon run.
Nice, awesome.
GG's.
Only 3 minutes behind PB.
Very, very nice
Hey, if it
run.
wasn't for the leap and bound crash, it probably would have been a valid run. Very nice. Thank you all for hanging out during this run. We're really ahead of schedule now. So you know what? Tech, do we have time to do a quick Chinatown Wars run? That run is less than 5 minutes long. We're really ahead of estimate. Are we can we do that? It's on the same emulator, should be the same setup.
I will say while we're getting that situated, while we're trying to figure out whether or not we can do that, I do want to mention that we are on a hype train here within the Twitch chat, and also all of the hype train donations and subs and bits, they will all go towards One Iowa. All Twitch revenue we receive during this event will be donated to One Iowa. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free with your Prime Gaming account. That will also, again, help out that hype train and then help out One Iowa. So please make sure if you would like to donate, if you would like um, to give bits or subs, you absolutely can. But also don't forget to donate for One Iowa directly. And we do still have we do still have our bonus game 2 that is yet to be met. That is a $282 amount right now out of 500. So please make sure that we are taking a look at that to try to get some more Midwest Speedfest going.
You like wooden boxes?
Go. Alright, awesome. Chinatown Wars. We love this game. Its any percent is extremely broken. The run, I think world record is 2 minutes, 2 seconds. It's a lot of fun. I swear. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start a new game. And then we're gonna spam save. Oh, we messed up. That's okay, I have a save state. We're gonna load a save state. This is totally legal. Chinatown Wars does not have the restrictions VCS has. New game. I messed up again, let's go. That didn't work either. That just did not do the little bloop.
So the thing that Wolf is trying to do here, it's very similar to the partial act change bypass glitch. The reason why this game is so short is he's trying to do a trick where he saves the game while it has all the missions loaded. Because what the game is supposed to do is it has all the missions loaded from the start, and then the game it tries to unset all of those when you start a new game. So he's going to save the game as quick as he possibly can so that all the missions are unlocked, and it happens to be that the final mission ends up being unlocked as part of this process.
Taking a little bit to do. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna save the game. And then we're gonna load that save, just like we did in a VCS. And guess what? Now we're at the beginning of the game, but we're actually not. We're at the end of the game. Now we need to find the fastest car we can find. This works. This. Copyrighted music that I don't want. So welcome to Chinatown Wars. This game was released in like 2009, I believe, for DS. Then it was ported to PSP and mobile. This game is actually, the story I'd say is pretty good. It's like a mix between 2D and 3D. It takes place in the same kind of universe as GTA 4, like a year later, and you can't go to Alderney, but it's its own little thing. The driving's extremely difficult in this game. So much so that we're gonna go flying into the river. Never done that before. But now we get to experience a little bit of the water. You know, just like you would do right at the beginning of the game. It's fine. Running in this game is extremely quick for some reason. Hey, look, a dumpster. Oh, hey, look, we haven't unlocked that ability. You can search dumpsters is what I'm trying to do. It's fine. We're just kind of stalling for time because, you know, we finished like 30 minutes ahead of schedule. So here's the final mission marker. And not only is it the final mission marker, it skips right to the end of the mission, too. Obviously, World Record optimizes a lot more. I think they play on mobile, actually, because it despawns traffic if you go to a certain speed. And then you do a quick little minigun auto-scroller. Game is pretty fun. I wish more people would play it. And it is not blocked from purchase like VCS is. I believe you can still get the mobile versions. You can still get the PSP versions on the PS TV. Which I would be playing VCS on, because I do have it on there. On real hardware if it wasn't for not having a capture card. Functioning capture card, at least. So, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me. I'm not fully sure. What is the next run? Does anyone know? Anyone have the schedule up?
Yeah, our next run will be Kyle's Little Monster presenting Final Fantasy 15.
Awesome. Make sure to check that run out. Here's the final boss of the game. I believe this is our uncle, who, like, killed our dad or something. I don't remember. I'm gonna do a little burnout while waiting for our little friend to get in the car here. Hopefully not get busted. I'm gonna ransom cars. Hello, this is copyrighted music. We don't want that. As you can see, this car is extremely sturdy. So we wait till we get to this big road here. And then there'll be a marker that appears here right about now. And guess what? That's time. Let's go. That's Chinatown Wars 2. I'm out of
Nice.
stuff unless you want me to do LCS any percent.
No.
I think we are good. Congratulations again on the Vice City Stories run, and thank you for showcasing Chinatown Wars as well. Is there anything else that you or Scalar would like to say here before we move on?
Well, that was my 10th ever finished VCS any percent run, so yeah, there's that. You can find me on Twitch at wolfbloxer06, YouTube wolfbloxer06, Discord wolfbloxer06. That's all I've got.
Find me at twitch.tv/scalar. Also wanted to shout out, thanks again to Games Done Quick for rating us. Thank you all very much for joining, and I think we are done.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Have fun out of Final Fantasy.
All right. And thank you again, wolfbloxer06 and Scalar, for setting up and showcasing not only the fun run of Vice City